Hello, race fans! Who's ready for the Great American Race? This year will be the 67th running of the Daytona 500. Now strap in or strap on while we do it for Dale once again this year. I hope you're ready for extended overtimes and finishes being captured by 1940s camera technology heading into this year's race. I'll explain this format, the event, and introduce you to this year's entry list competing for that Harley J. Earl Trophy. This is your Hater's Guide to the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500 is the most prestigious stock car race in the world, while also being the season opener for the NASCAR Cup Series. Some of the greatest stock car drivers in North America and even race car drivers from around the world have competed in this event. There is currently 45 drivers on this year's entry list, 36 of whom will be guaranteed spots come race day. There is a total of 9 drivers in open rides competing for the final 4 spots on this year's starting grid. Barring a Big Daddy NASCAR rule change that could include a 41st entry for IndyCar legend Helio Castroneves to take that spot if he is unable to lock himself into the field on merit. The format can be tricky, so sit back and relax while I explain it as simple as I can where even an Alabama Bama man could understand. Qualifying will take place on Wednesday, where each driver will have an attempt to grab the prestigious front row lock-in spots come Sunday. Claiming a front row spot comes with a bit of hardware as well. The Daytona Duels take place on Thursday, where drivers will compete in 2 separate 150-mile races, where the top open drivers will lock in to the 40-car field. The first duel will consist of drivers on qualifying day in odd positions, while the second duel race will take those of even. Your starting position on Sunday is also determined by your finishing position in the duel. Open drivers who do not qualify into the field will pack it up and head on home, while in turn saving a shit ton of money by not being wrapped up in the inevitable big crash on Sunday. Now that I've explained the event and the format, it's time to meet this year's entry list for the Daytona 500. Now let's meet the drivers of the 36 cars who are guaranteed spots in this year's race. Driving for Trackhouse in the 1 car is a man with the testicular fortitude of a raging bull in a china shop is the Florida man watermelon farmer himself, Ross Chastain. Former Talladega winner looks to climb the mountaintop of stock car racing. Also at Trackhouse in the 88 car is rookie Shane Van Glizzy Gisbergen, the Kiwi superstar making his first attempt at the Daytona 500. Final driver for Trackhouse in the 99 car is Daniel Suarez. We'll see if he'll be smashing his pinata come Sunday evening. Driving for Team Penske in the 2 car is former Daytona 500 champion Austin Cindric. Coming off of a career best season in 2024, looks to become a 2-time Daytona 500 champion. Penske driver in the 12 car is Ryan Blaney. I mean, look at Blaney, man. So inspirational. He'll have you feeling like you can run headfirst through a brick wall. Just make sure you put on a helmet before, or you'll definitely need it after. Can he win his first Daytona 500? Lastly, driving for Penske in the 22 car is defending series champion and former Daytona 500 winner Joey Logano. With all of his accolades to his name, I would say his biggest achievement would be his endorsement of Rogaine for Men, as he's become a poster child for the brand. Driving for Richard Childress in the 3 car is former Daytona 500 champion Austin Dillon, driving the infamous number 3 made famous by Dale Earnhardt. Using lessons learned from the Intimidator, can he plow his way forward and win the Daytona 500 once again? Just remember, kids, Dale ain't dead, he's just 3 laps ahead. Also, driving for Richard Childress in the 8 car is KFB, Kyle Busch. Kyle Douche is a Busch bag, making his 20th attempt at the Daytona 500. The last man to be winless on their 20th attempt finally achieved victory, and we all know who that was. Can Busch follow in the footsteps of greatness and break through here in 2025? Driving for front row in the 4 car is Old Lyle, Noah Gragson, who is thankful that Daytona is in Florida and not in the city of Chicago. where his career highlight reel consists of him landing in that turn 6 wall. Thank your lucky stars, Daytona only has 4 corners. Also, driving for front row in the 34 car is Todd Gilliland, who has shown his speed at plate tracks in recent memory. Can he join the list of first career wins coming in the Daytona 500? Joining front row in the 38 car is Zane Smith, with the hype as plain as a sheet of paper, looks to find success in this event this year. Driving for Hendrick in the 5 car is Hung Money, Kyle Larson. Just a few weeks removed from his Chili Bowl victory, looks to secure yet another marquee win. Let's just hope he tucks in his lower appendage to prevent from any trip hazards for himself this year. Also, driving for Hendrick in the 9 car is NASCAR's most popular Mr. Irrelevant, Chase Elliott, whose fan base can still pick out that Napa car while 6 beers deep, upside down, doing a butt chug. The state of Alabama may just burn to the ground if he somehow Mickey Mouses his way into victory lane this year. Driving for Hendrick in the 24 car is defending Daytona 500 champion William Byron, who looks to win the race when it actually goes the distance. Lastly, for Hendrick in the 48 car is front row Alex Bowman, who was on the wrong end of that Big Daddy NASCAR screw job in last year's Daytona 500. I still have Vietnam flashbacks from watching film breakdown of last year's controversial finish. Driving for RFK in the 6 car is Brad Keselowski, who is one of the greatest plate racers in the history of NASCAR, seeking the final crown jewel on his resume. Let's hope he stayed away from the Twinkies this offseason and comes back in prime shape and fitness to claim his first Daytona 500 victory. Also, driving for RFK in the 17 car is Chris Buescher, who made a cameo in South Park this offseason where he starred as Randy Marsh, where his testicular fortitude was so massive he had to invest in a wheelbarrow. Joining RFK in the 60 car is Ryan Preece. And thanks to all the NASCAR coverage nobody asked for during the Rolex 24, he doesn't have to fear the grass no mo. Driving for Spire in the 7 car is Justin Haley, whose formula to winning at Daytona relies completely on Mother Nature deciding to dump rain over the track past the halfway point of the race. Joining Spire in the 71 car is former Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell, who no longer holds underdog status as he seeks his second Daytona 500 victory. Lastly, driving for Spire in the 77 car is Hosen Karsavar, a rising talent with a no BS attitude will either bring home the trophy or the steering wheel at the end of this year's race. Driving for Colleague in the 10 car is Ty Dillon. No need to describe any further because I'm already bored. Also, driving for Colleague in the 16 car is AJ Allmendinger, who can't decide which series he wants to be a part of. He changes series more frequently than Applebee's Daily Special as he looks to make a splash in this year's Daytona 500. Driving for Joe Gibbs in the 11 car is 3-time Daytona 500 champion Old Dickie Denny Hamlin. While being a threat in this year's Daytona 500 is a guarantee, his championship hopes have already been dashed before the season even begins. Let's hope his driving ability hasn't been shipped by FedEx. Joining Joe Gibbs in the 19 car is Chase Briscoe, looking for a career resurgence here in 2025. He has been non-existent in plate races during his Cup tenure, and I don't expect things to change this year. Also, driving for Joe Gibbs in the 20 car is Christopher Bell, who became a bullying victim at the hands of Big Daddy NASCAR to end 2024. Let's sit back and watch his redemption arc begin in this year's Daytona 500. Lastly, driving for Joe Gibbs in the 54 car is the toddler, Ty Gibbs, who has entered his adolescent teenage years. Let's hope his middle school doesn't catch him for truancy while he spends a week down at Daytona. Driving for the Wood Brothers in the 21 car is Josh Barrier Berry, who was learned good by former teammate Lyle and found every wall on the Cup Series schedule in 2024. I'm sure if he missed one, he'll make sure it is his goal to find it this year. Driving for 2311 in the 23 car is Bubba Wallace, who has found himself close to Daytona 500 victory in recent years. Can he harness the magic required to find victory? Joining 2311 in the 35 car is Riley Herbst, who is only made relevant by his entourage of Monster Energy girls, who follow him around like groupies. Lastly, driving for 2311 in the 45 car is superstar Tyler Reddick, seeking his first Daytona 500 victory. If the whole racing thing doesn't work out, his Luigi-looking ass will fit right in at Comic-Con. Driving for Haas in the 41 car is Cole Custer, making his return to the Cup Series. According to Vegas, the odds are higher in us finding his neck than him winning this year's Daytona 500. Driving for Legacy in the 42 car is John Hunter Nemechek, whose Cup career has been so irrelevant you'd have better luck finding Waldo. Also, driving for Legacy in the iconic 43 car is former Daytona winner Eric Jones. Can this underrated driver find victory lane come Sunday? Driving for rebranded Hayek in the number 47 car is former Daytona 500 champion Ricky Stenhouse, or as we like to refer to him as the SpongeBob pants-wearing Recky Roundhouse. Let's hope this offseason's boxing lessons and wardrobe change can increase his odds here in 2025. Driving for Rick Ware in the 51 car is Cody Ware, whose official driver profile picture on NASCAR's website is a mugshot. Now let's meet the drivers of the open cars who are vying for the last spots available in the field. Driving for Rick Ware in the 01 car is Corey LaJoie, who had to take personal time off from his job at a local Mooresville Chili's to attempt this year's Daytona 500. With a massive ego and no accolades to back it up, look for the LaJoie dozer to be the cause of the big one. That's only if he, by the grace of God, actually makes the field this year. Driving for Dale Jr. in the 40 car is defending Xfinity Series champion Justin Allgaier, who with all the support of Junior Nation behind him, hoping to put Dale Jesus on the grid this year. Driving for NY in the number 44 car is JJ Yaley, who has worse odds of making this year's Daytona 500 than an alien civilization landing in Times Square. Driving for Cup Series newcomer Tricon in the 56 car is unretired race car driver Martin Truex Jr., who is seeking his first Daytona 500 victory. Honestly, there is nothing bad you can say about MTJ, and we can all hope he finds his way into the field this year. Driving for Beard in the 62 car is Anthony Alfredo, who used and abused his dude wife sponsorship, making moves that even Stevie Wonder couldn't believe he had witnessed. Driving for MBM in the 66 car is backup reserve driver, let's put him in here because we have to, Chandler Smith, who is replacing driver Mike Wallace, who Big Daddy NASCAR decided to take everything from this man except for his birthday. Driving for Live Fast in the 78 car is BJ McLeod, a driver-owner underdog who looks to race his way into the field this year. Driving for Legacy in the 84 car is unretired race car driver turned team owner who just can't stay away even if it was for the betterment of humanity, Jimmy Johnson. His part-time record has been that of pure embarrassment, making you question how he actually won 7 championships. Lastly, driving for Trackhouse in the 91 car is IndyCar legend and 4-time Indy 500 champion Helio Castroneves, who will start in his first Daytona 500 this year. Let's hope for his sake he stays far away from Recky Roundhouse, who has a track record of running into foreigners. Now that I've introduced you to this year's Daytona 500 entry list, leave in the comments below your favorites and dark horses leading into this year's 66th running of the Daytona 500. This 500-mile, 200-lap marathon requires not only the fastest car, but luck only the racing gods can provide. The driver that runs a fairly clean race, stays out of trouble, and puts themselves in a great position late will find themselves in victory lane and add their name to the illustrious list of winners in this prestigious event. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I implore you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date for more great motorsports related content. Make sure you tune in on race day for our watch party as we sit back, relax, and enjoy this year's Daytona 500. From everyone at the Dega Boys YouTube channel, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Unless you want to see more, there's a video right there for you to watch. Wow, you're still hanging around? Well, while you're here, you should just click one of those videos. Come on. I know you want to. Blah, 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 blah.